Lions get some love for their running backs.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, we got another week, everybody. Locked On Lions, welcome in on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you. Today is Monday, July the 7th. Into Tuesday, July the 8th. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. And that includes where you can find Locked On Lions on Apple Music. Of course, subscribe, please, and watch us daily on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel as well. The podcast today on a Monday is brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Looking for tickets? Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Follow us on all social media platforms. Shout out to our everydayers who are out there that watch and listen to the podcast daily. I was at a 4th of July function with my wife's family over the weekend, also celebrating my mother-in-law's soon-to-be 70th birthday. Happy birthday, Mary. And my wife's Uncle Dennis Wolfenbarger. Love Uncle Dennis. He's like, oh, keep doing great work on the pod. I'm like, you check this out? He's like, yeah. So Uncle Dennis, thanks for watching us and checking us out here on Locked On Lions. Folks, we are getting close. We are, 9 days away. 9 days away from Lions rookies reporting for training camp. And then the veterans will be in on July 19th. First practice will be July 20th. So we're getting close. I know a lot of people are on vacation. I saw my guy Ben Raven that covers the Lions for MLive. He's up north somewhere. My boy Solly Williams, who does Lions media relations and is part of that great group. He's vacationing somewhere. I'm seeing everybody posting they're on vacation. Well, everybody's going to be back soon as we get ready for the 2025 season. We got to get into some NFC North predictions that I saw today. Jeff Risdon at the Lions Wire wrote about the third tight end spot, which I'm not really touched upon, but I will today. I got to give a shout out to the local baseball team at the end of the podcast, but I want to start today with something that I saw online. The great Sharp Football and Warren Sharp, who's got a awesome guide that is out every year, kind of predicting the season, going through each team. Sharp Football Analytics. We've had Warren on the show before. We've had others from Sharp Football on the show before. He put out his rankings today of the top running back rooms in the NFL. And I know a lot has been made about, is Jahmyr Gibbs, after Saquon Barkley, the second best running back in the entire NFL? Now, Derrick Henry's very good. We know Bijan Robinson's really good. There's a lot of good running backs. There's not a ton of great running backs like there used to be. But Jahmyr Gibbs over the last couple of years has made the Pro Bowl and is really starting to come on. And he's a stud. He's very, very good. And there's a lot of good running backs, by the way, in this division as well. Josh Jacobs being one of them. But today, Warren Sharp put out, he ranked the NFL's best running back rooms. And if you go from, let's say, 10 down to 1, all right, Green Bay came in at 10th. I mentioned before Josh Jacobs. Buccaneers have some good depth. They're at number 9. Colts at number 8. Although their guys, including Jonathan Taylor, have not been healthy the last few years. Raiders at 7 with the rookie Ashton Genty. 49ers at 6, a lot of depth there. Miami at 5. We know about Mostert and A-Chain and all them. Ravens at 4, Derrick Henry. Falcons at 3. They're the third best with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Then you mentioned Saquon at number 2 with the Eagles. And yes, the number 1 running back room, according to Warren Sharp, in the entire NFL is, in fact, your Honolulu Blue and Silver Gladiators, the Detroit Lions. The running back room that, of course, contains Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles, the whole duo thing, and however you want to slice it, those two guys are studs. All right, I love watching David Montgomery run. The one thing that I'm really concerned about with Frank Ragnow's retirement is how good is that O-line going to be late in games when they're pushing. That's where Frank Ragnow, to me, was as good a center as I've ever seen. At just end of games, pushing people around, leading the charge for that front five, and Montgomery kind of dropping the hammer, and the Lions able to just rest on the football or get a late field goal or take a knee. I love the way the Lions have finished games over the last couple of years behind that offensive line, and certainly with David Montgomery carrying tacklers, first contact, and then yards after first contact. He's as good as there is. All right, but then you throw in our guy Craig Reynolds. Come on, Craig. Haven't said that in a while. We love Craig Reynolds as a third running back. Sione Vaki showed some flashes last preseason as a guy that when you put the ball in his hands, it can get a little exciting. So the Lions have a lot of depth there. When Craig Reynolds comes into the games, they don't miss a beat. He's really good. Vaki is a guy that I think the Lions want to take a longer look at. And again, preseason likely, you're not going to see Gibbs and Montgomery, but you will see a guy like Sione Vaki. You can catch the ball out of the backfield, do a lot of different things. We know he wasn't a running back at Utah all the time. It was kind of a converted safety to running back. But I know Brad Holmes, the front office, the coaching staff, really, really like him. But the Lions getting the grade of top running back room in the entire league is pretty sweet. And again, it was just a couple of years ago that I don't think – this is what I love about Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes was not satisfied having a nice running back room. Like they had DeAndre Swift, they had Jamal Williams, and Jamal was kind of a folk hero a couple of years ago. If you recall the 9-8 season when the Lions beat the Packers in the playoffs, and Jamal Williams was crying after the game and talking about how much he loved this team and how much they grew. And you're like, hey, re-sign Jamal Williams. Come on, Lions. You got to bring Jamal back. He was great. And Brad Holmes went, no, I think we can upgrade and not spend a ton of dough. And that's what they did with the David Montgomery first contract and then drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. So they went from a really nice running back room to what Warren Sharp, at least one analyst says, is the best running back room in the league. The Eagles are stacked with Gainwell behind Saquon. They got really good running backs. Falcons, Ravens, Dolphins. These are teams that have multiple backs. 49ers. I love that the Lions are at the tops. And the only team in the division in the top 10 was Green Bay at 10. Vikings are 18. I don't see the Bears. Oh, here we go. Bears at 27 with DeAndre Swift. Worst running back rooms in the league, by the way, Dallas at 32, Chiefs at 31, and Denver at 30. So Lions come in at number 1. You love that. And again, with all of the changes that are being made right now on this offense, Frank Ragnow gone, Ben Johnson gone, Kevin Zeitler gone. How's it going to look? We don't know, but we do know this. Let's say that the pass blocking, let's just, for bleeps and giggles here, let's just say the pass blocking takes a little bit of a step back this year. As long as they're able to run the football, all right, and give the rock to guys that when they touch it, good things normally happen in Montgomery and Gibbs, I still have faith that this offense can be just as good as it was a year ago. And I get it. Ben Johnson was as creative as they come. All right, best offensive coordinator in the league. Won the award for it. Frank Ragnow, other than Creed Humphrey, name me a better center in the league. All right, I get it. Retired, done. What are they going to do at center? We've talked about it. Is it going to be Ratledge? Is it going to be Glasgow? What are they doing at left guard? Is it Mahogany? What are they doing at right guard? Is it Ratledge? Is it Frazier? Is it Manu? Is Glasgow going back to right guard after playing left guard last year and not being great? A lot of questions. But Montgomery is tough to bring down when healthy. Jahmyr Gibbs in the open field, a lot of good things can happen. A lot of good things can happen. So it's exciting. And I'm excited that the Lions running back room is considered the best in the league. Like we said, Craig Reynolds comes in and does a good job. Vaki's a guy that is intriguing. So pretty cool that one of the national voices, Warren Sharp, has the Lions with the best running back room in the entire league. All right, coming up next, let's get into some NFC North predictions that are out. We'll talk about the Lions' third tight end as well. We know they got Sam Laporta. We know Brock Tober's back, Brock Wright. But what about that number 3 spot? And what if somebody has to play? We will get into that coming up next right here on a Monday, Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions, as we told you, is brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Have you decided at the last minute that you want to head to a ball game with friends and family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands, right? Including tonight when your Detroit Tigers, your first place Tigers, take on the Tampa Bay Rays. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. So the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it all possible. They make buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. All right, Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for exciting upcoming Major League Baseball games, including, like I said, Tigers and Rays this week. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. If you want Tiger tickets with Gametime, download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, it's a Monday edition, everybody, of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for being with us, making us your first listen, working on a couple of guests coming up later on in the week as we talk Lions football with you every single day as we get you ready for training camp, which is going to start officially July 20th, which is awesome. We're getting closer, less than 2 weeks away from the Lions' first practice. How about that? All right, NBC Sports has come out with predictions for the NFC North. All right, just saw these today on the old interwebs. Finishing in last place, according to our friends at NBC Sports, the Minnesota Vikings predicted to finish 6-11. Wowzers. J.J. McCarthy is essentially a rookie quarterback, and I don't believe we're talking about that enough. A second-year QB is only 22 years old. Wow. Notable regression is on the horizon for Minnesota, says NBC Sports. A 6-11 record. I don't know about that. That's who's predicted by NBC to finish last. In third place, they have the Bears, touchdown Bears, at 8-9. They call hiring Ben Johnson an A+ move by Ryan Poles. Chicago trending in the right direction. They do not have talent enough yet to finish with a winning record, says NBC Sports. They have them at 8-9. Coming in at second place, Green Bay Packers predicted 11-6. Packers are still not there yet, but another 11-win season is nothing to scoff at. Interesting. And at number one, your first place for the third consecutive year, according to NBC Sports, will be the Detroit Lions at 12-5. They write, quote, after winning 15 games in the 2024 season, the Detroit Lions will regress a bit, but will still win enough games to take home the NFC North. The roster is simply too talented to not, and Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the division as well, so that will have a massive impact. Don't tell that to Peter Bukowski. They're also set to get a ton of players back from injury as well. That's the thing that we don't talk about enough with this football team, is the fact that players are going to come back from injury. You know, we talked about it a lot with Aleem McNeil being out and Aiden Hutchinson. We're not sure if Aiden is going to be, 100% and everything else to start the season when the Lions play in Green Bay on September the 7th. But we do know this team won 15 games last year, is very, very solid, and yes, is so uber talented and has guys that are so important back and sign long-term, like Kirby Joseph this offseason, just to use as an example. that they should finish first place, that they should finish in first place. They are good enough. And I think it is chic to pick the Bears. I think people feel like Chicago's made massive upgrades. To sit here and say Minnesota's only going to win 6 games, I don't agree with that at all. I think Minnesota is very well coached. I think, Brian Flores is as good a defensive coordinator as there is. They're young on defense. And I do think J.J. McCarthy could end up being better than Sam Darnold. Now, again, Sam Darnold had a tremendous season last year before melting down the last 2 games. But that's a veteran quarterback that came in, won that locker room. Can McCarthy do the same thing? He's never played an NFL snap in his life, only 22. So, and Green Bay's good. Don't get me wrong. I think they can win the division, but I don't think they will. But the Lions getting some of these guys back on defense, the bad luck that they had defensively last year, how decimated they were in that Commanders game. Now, they need to finish those games. They need to take care of the football better, something they did not do in that last game. And replacing Ben Johnson with John Morton is a question mark. And replacing Frank Ragnow with we don't know who on July 7th is also a question mark. So we'll have to wait and see. But I am extremely excited about this season. And as the folks at NBC Sports said, this is a very talented roster. I mean, we just brought it up. Jahmyr Gibbs, arguably best running back in the league, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown, as good a wide receiver as you'll find. Top 5 receiver in the league, right? Jared Goff, best quarterback in the division. Made the Pro Bowl last year. Was a top 5 finalist for the MVP. You're getting Hutchinson back. Your safeties are as good a duo as there is in football. The linebacking core is the best it's been in decades. So there's a lot to like with this team, for sure. I never thought I would say this, but let's talk third string tight end, shall we? If you don't know, last year, if you recall, James Mitchell was on the roster for a little bit. Then one of the flying Zylstra brothers, Shane Zylstra, was basically your third tight end. But they've picked up Kenny Yeboah, who was with the Jets over the last 4 years. A very good blocking tight end, has only had 15 catches over the last handful of seasons, and is a guy, though, that is reliable, is a professional, a good blocker. And as Jeff Risdon pointed out in his article today on the Lions Wire, this is a guy that deserves some respect, and maybe, as Jeff put it, the most overlooked of all the new veteran faces on the team. 4 years with the Jets, 6'4", 250, went from Temple to Ole Miss. So he played in the SEC his final season, and he had 6 touchdowns his final year at Ole Miss. Never really was a guy, though, unfortunately, that was featured in the Jets offense. But again, the Jets have not had a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers last year, of course, but they saw what they saw with him and they were done with him. But as far as the battle for the third tight end spot on this roster, Kenny Yeboah will be going up against, like I said before, Shane Zylstra, who is more of a receiver than a blocker, not the best blocker, not as big as Yeboah when you talk about size and strength. And then Zach Horton is a guy that I know they picked up as an undrafted rookie free agent who had a nice year last year in Kurt Cignetti's offense at Indiana after coming over from James Madison, is one of the guys that Cignetti, the Sig 10, Coach Sig, brought from James Madison to IU. But Kenny Yeboah is intriguing. And when you talk about 6'4" and a guy with decent hands and size, we know this. Dan Campbell loves utilizing all the tight ends that he has on his roster, right? There were some formations that Ben Johnson had last year where Zylstra was on the field with Brock Wright and Sam Laporta. And, both of them, all 3 of those guys were on the field at the same time. So we'll have to see how it is utilized and how Yeboah is utilized if, in fact, he wins the job over Shane Zylstra. I'm not so sure and certain that it's a lock that he will win the job. He was just a guy kind of picked up in free agency quietly on a 1-year deal. But I know they like him. I know that he's somebody that has a chance to play. And you never can have enough depth, especially in a room that Dan Campbell keeps an extra eye on, along, of course, with everybody involved, Steve Hyden, everybody involved in the tight ends room, because they love utilizing the tight end in this offense. And we talked last week about Sam Laporta having a big year. Brock Wright is as good a backup as you'll find at tight end. He started plenty of games. He's made big plays and big catches. Excellent blocker. But keep an eye on Kenny Yeboah, because he's got a chance to maybe with this group and on this team have some success. So should be pretty cool to see how he does in this offense. All right, coming up next, I got to give a shout out. All right, for those of you that know me well and have followed me and my career, and I guess today I did get shouted out and laughed at by Stoney on the Costa and Jansen program. Stoney was in for John, and they poked a little fun at me, but my Cleveland Guardians are bad. It is time to give congratulations coming back to the local baseball team. We'll do that coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. Hey, we appreciate you making Locked On Lions your first listen today. For your second listen, we want you to check out the Locked On NFL Scouting Show. As training camps get closer and moves are being made, hosts Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino will make you the most informed NFL fan this offseason. Find Locked On NFL Scouting on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Love Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino. Those guys do an awesome job on Locked On NFL Scouting. Joe's on Locked On Bills, and he's as good a host as we have on this network. There's a lot of great hosts. All the hosts here in Detroit that do the Wings, Tigers, Pistons, all are good. I'm excited to be on this network. This will be my 10th season coming up. 10 years. 10th season, 9 years. But Joe Marino on Locked On Bills, he's very, very good. And that show does very well. All right. I got to wish congratulations. And I hate to do this. I don't want to do it. I'm miserable doing it. All right. It's the end of the show. I got to do it, though. Congratulations to the AL Central winning Detroit Tigers. It's going to happen. I think my team, the Guardians, are like 13 and a half games back or something. Like, we're terrible. Terrible. Like, we suck. S-U-C-K. Just, we're bad. And this past weekend, everybody got a chance to, I'm sure, see it. 3 very close games. Yesterday's game goes extra innings. Then, like, Trey Sweeney, it's a home run off of Cade Smith. Bo Naylor, our catcher, lets a ball he has to block go through his legs to tie the game in the 9th. Give McKinstry credit for running. But, like, the Tigers beat the Guardians this weekend. I think it was 2-1, 1-0. And then 7-2, but it was a 1-0 game in the 9th inning, and the Tigers were down to their last strike. But the Tigers are going to win this division, folks. Like, you look up, we talk about the Lions and how good the NFC North is right now, where all the teams could be playoff teams this year. All of them. Some prognosticators have said Lions win the division, Packers, Vikings, and Bears all in the playoff. Like, I've seen that. All right. There's a world where that could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because of the schedule and how difficult it is for all the teams in the division. But man alive, like, this division's really, really good. What Ben Johnson is going to do in Chicago, I think is going to be good. You see what LaFleur and Gutekunst in Green Bay, they win every year. Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell is as good a coach as there is. He's excellent. They won 14 flipping games last year. Counter that with baseball and what's going on here. I mean, the Tigers are running away with this division because Kansas City's no good. Minnesota's struggling. The Guardians have lost 10 in a row. 10 straight. Hasn't happened since 2012 in the Manny Acta era. But I got to give the Tigers props, man, especially yesterday. They scratched and clawed. Every game, they're always in it. Their pitching's really good. Offense is, been so surprisingly good. Riley Green's having a huge year. And they just find a way. Torkelson's got 20 home runs. Javi Baez. Now, come on. Should Javi Baez be starting the All-Star game? No, but that's who the fans voted. And I'm sure a lot of you guys were the ones that put that out there. But in Skubal yesterday, I mean, come on. That dude is just best pitcher in the game. I mean, how do you argue that? So, as a Cleveland fan, It pains me because I despise the Tigers. I've hated them since I was a kid. When Lou Whitaker and Kirk Gibson and Whitaker and Jack Morris especially just destroyed the Cleveland Indians when I grew up. I was going to games since, I was probably 4 when I went to my first game, 1977. And those guys would just come in and just crap on us. They were so good. And I hated them then, and I still hate them to this day because rivalry's pretty good. That weekend series was entertaining. Guardians beat the Tigers in the playoffs last year. It's a great series, but not this year. Tigers are superior, and I got to tip my cap. What's happening with these teams right now, and it started with the Lions in this town, the excitement level that the Pistons brought in getting to the playoffs and playing one heck of an exciting series with the Knicks, right? That was thrilling, the back and forth. Tigers are going to win the division, go to the playoffs again. Lions kind of started this whole thing. The Iser plan, I don't know what that is. Openly admitting we're not competing. Free agency. Most guys we just couldn't get. Man, what the Lions like? The Lions are not big spenders in free agency, but they're aggressive. Lions are always trying to get better. I don't know what's going on with them. I feel bad for Wings fans. I don't know what that is. GM's like, yeah, we talked to some guys, none of them wanted to come. Like, okay. That's horrible. But a lot of good things in Detroit sports right now. And with the Lions, and for a lot of you, you're like, Matt, just talk football. I get it. It's a Lions podcast, but I had to give that ode to the Tigers and rip my Guardians who suck and probably lose their 11th in a row tonight in Houston. But this all started with the Lions, man. It did. And what they've done over the last 3+ seasons. All right. We are back again tomorrow with a Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions. Got hopefully a first-time guest coming up, working on for Wednesday. And we're working on a Thursday one as well, right here on Locked On Lions.